All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Season 2, Episode 10.
Getting close to the end of this one, Jacob.
Yep, that's going to be a sad day when it's over.
Yeah, one of the things I'm particularly excited about, though, is that given that Ishigami was getting so much focus in the previous episode, we could be getting like some kind of sports festival thing or what have you, and actually have him be somewhat important in that focus.
Right, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome.
Also, that freaking cheer squad that he joined.
Oh, yeah, just crazy yeehaw. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad for him, but like I've never experienced something on like that level. I've experienced.
I don't think anyone has.
No, I think a lot of people have. I think a lot of people have. Surprisingly, I just think it's something where surprisingly the over dramatization of anime within that regard is something that I don't see as being that unrealistic. Like
sure,
like it's just I've not experienced that specific one.
Right. Yeah. But in other news, we also had Shirogane confronting Kaguya about the almost kiss.
Yes.
And the word kiss was used.
Like,
yeah. So
only one syllable allowed.
Yep, so that's some extra progression in that regard.
Yes.
And then there was also the whole thing of Kaguya and Ishigami, doing dress up and everything and being very close.
Yeah.
And Shirogane getting just a little bit jealous.
A little bit jealous, yeah. I think that it's not going to be that bad. It's more just going to be interesting to see if there's a continual development of it. Right. Otherwise, it might have been just a gag. But I loved that we also got Ino Miko
with her
giving her I'm the hero that everyone needs tonight. But I keep walking into the student council room when there's weird shit going on.
And, of course, also she, projects a little bit of her own sexual fantasies onto the people around her. Yeah. And, of course, continues to completely get the wrong idea about what kind of a person Chika Fujiwara is. Yeah.
But, I mean, what are you going to do? It's Chika.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Alright everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Alright guys,
again,
this show just is hitting it out of the park. Just consistent
every single time.
It just doesn't miss. It just keeps doing such a good job with developing the story, but also providing really unique either iterations on previous skits or actually developing the characters and turning those developments into new types of skits. So by having Ishigami and Ino Miko have this whole kind of really, really interesting dynamic that they kind of almost flirt, if you will, back and forth between helping each other and also like having like that distance that is fraught with a bunch of tension and stuff is really interesting. And then also you have, the fact that Kaguya and Shirogane are actually being more comfortable just spending time together, doing just kind of not couple things, but coming pretty close.
One of the things that I love is that the skits in this show, because it like at the beginning of this show, like way back in the first season, where I saw it potentially having trouble is if it got to a point where it got repetitive, right? Because these characters are so stubborn that the progress will be like glaciers melting, right? It'll just be like, okay, little bit by little bit by little bit. But if you don't have that continuation, then you can kind of lose the progress and then nothing ever happens.
Right.
But things like in this episode where Kaguya would just do the calming gesture, throughout the episode as a way to show what's going on inside her, right? But then also showing that this is something where she's not the same person that she was in the previous episode or in the episode before that.
Yeah, in the way that glaciers melting is actually extremely accurate, it's also the idea, if you think about it, that it's snow rolling down a mountain. Over the course of time, the snow accumulates into a ball, which then has more weight, which allows it to move faster, which then allows it to accumulate more snow, and then it continues to roll and continues to roll. So over the course of time, these characters are picking up little aspects of their own development and rolling down the plot with them to where we end up in situations where Kaguya is defending, Shirogane in front of his father,
right?
Who very much remembers who she was, who she is, because of something that happened in season 1.
Yep.
Which I love. It's like this is a show that is very much a skit-based comedy with lots of internal continuity. And the thing is, in order to have something to reference back to, you need to build up a foundation in order to start having that internal continuity. But now it's starting to build upon itself within the references, leading to even more plot development.
Yep.
So, stuff that's goofy, like the Chica repetition of the coaching stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. That's hilarious. It leads to some funny moments where we get to see Chica's, true self come out.
Indeed.
But also, in the same episode, we can have Ishigami-related stuff where we've seen how he's been so socially outcast and different there from the other characters, be given not only a reason specifically for that, but a lot of the things that we have been seeing foreshadowed with regards to how he treats Inomiko, having all this extra layers to it, because it's not just a sign of affection or a sign of care or conscientiousness, even if it's not like that much affection towards it.
Right, her specifically.
Right, exactly. It has some interesting parallels now that we know that there was a relationship that he wanted to have that didn't go a certain way, and yet there are rumors that are... That's probably how the rumors are, actually. I'm not saying that those are what's wrong. It's that whether the rumors are close to the truth about what actually happened is kind of interesting. So...
Gotcha. Yeah, there will be a story there, and I'm guessing it'll be something where it's not quite right, but because Ishigami has never been one that really believed much in other people in general, he wouldn't bother defending himself.
Well, that's the thing. We have all these things that are kind of deep-rooted characterization stuff that we accept as just the way the characters are, because at some point you have to start making your character stand out from the others, right?
Sure.
But what if this is part of the reason why he's like that? And it's something that specifically is this way because, no, it's actually something where it was either way more complicated, and it's something where he doesn't want to hurt her, so he doesn't defend himself in any way. Or it's something where, no, he was really, really hurt in a specific way. And any kind of bringing up of the whole situation makes the pain come back. So, of course, he's not going to defend himself.
Well, and then that'll be a great thing to then bring up in future episodes, like maybe even the very next episode, since it seems like she is back.
I think it's definitely happening in the next episode.
And the fact that she's back, well, the big question then is why?
Right.
Because there would be no reason for her to come back here if she actually believed, those rumors or whatever, right?
Right.
So, unless it was like for someone else that was also at the school or something, but odds are that's not the case.
Well, we already know that there's 3 parties involved that were directly, not named, but directly stated had something to do with this whole situation with Ishigami, and that is the boyfriend that apparently he fought. Ishigami fought him.
Yeah.
Which... Does Ishigami sound like the kind of person, or even look like the kind of person that would intentionally seek out a fight with someone else's boyfriend?
Nope.
Not at all.
The only case where I could see that happening, because in my mind, he's kind of a jaded version of Inomiko, and that's why he probably looks out for her. That's why she probably doesn't like him specifically.
Oh, I like that.
And that basically. When if he did start the fight, it was probably because there was some reason that was so compelling. He's like, I have to, even though it's stupid and all that stuff, right?
Or he started something that incited the fight from the boyfriend. Right. Meaning, like, an example of this that I've seen in a lot of instances in my life is where you'll end up in a situation where someone says something that's extremely disrespectful to someone else. You don't know their situation and stuff, so it's something where it's not really necessarily a thing where you have the context to step in. But there was one time there was a person who I was rooming with. I was once in a house with a bunch of guys when I was at school and stuff like that. And there was a guy that just absolutely started trash-talking our landlord's wife.
Damn.
Yeah, like just absolutely just going in. And the thing is it wasn't like starting at the top and just maintaining that level of intensity. It started slow, started to build up, build up, build up, build up. And at about here, I had had enough from this build up.
Right.
And basically told them to cut the bullshit and was just like, go take your immature problems outside. This guy wanted to throw hands like so fast.
Well, because it was probably in front of other people, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah,
right?
Well, he was doing this whole thing in front of other people.
Oh yeah,
as well.
totally.
Yeah. I didn't care, but it was funny because of that instance and how quickly he physically tried to actually attack me. I got him thrown out of the house. Like I was like, no, you're out of here. like it's just one of those moments where it's like, I can totally see how in the dynamic of where there's a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, if Ishigami very much loved the girl and was not handling his crush on her in a way that was maybe extremely mature, like there was some immaturities to it, if he was persistent, I could see that being a thing where the boyfriend then oversteps and then, actually like beats up Ishigami, and maybe the girlfriend just lets it happen or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as before we go crazy into theorizing, I want to bring up some things from this episode that were really stand out to me.
Totally.
One was the whole thing of, because I mentioned the whole thing of the hand against the calming gesture that Kaguya did, right? Yeah. But there were also things like just the fact that she actually wanted to teach Shirogane the dance, and when it was like, I get an excuse to touch his body. That wasn't something where then she was like bashful about it. She was like, yes,
she just did it.
Yes, awesome. And while she did sometimes just be like, oh yeah, what? What's going on, right? And we know what that means, which is great fun. That's something that she absolutely, never would have done previously, but she never even would have admitted to herself that it was something she desired, right? And I think that is really good because that's a concrete sort of follow-up development on the whole thing of the almost kiss from earlier. Even though they haven't had a conversation about that in depth, it's still something where that has changed the dynamic between the two of them and within each of themselves as individuals. So I really like that attention to detail that's going into each of these episodes, because it would be so easy for this show to just be sort of repetitive, formulaic, all that stuff.
But it hasn't been that for a while.
Oh, right. I know. And
in fact, it almost never really went completely into that. Like it kind of like had like skits that it would fall back on and stuff, but it was more like the character development was something that we were kind of waiting to have happen within the bit of, Kaguya learning, like, actually, like, this way you're doing things isn't going to lead to a better relationship with, Shirogane.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole bit with Kei and, like, giving that focus to Shirogane's sort of family life home situation.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
It's something where, given that this show is so focused on the characters, I want to see more of the characters in different circumstances and situations. And things like this, because especially since we can't really get that with Kaguya very much, because it's very complicated on that end. I want to see things where it's like, this is where Shirogane came from. This is sort of what made him turn into the kind of person that he is, right? With a dad like his, I'm not surprised that he turned into I must be the hyper-responsible, get the good grades and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because, my dad doesn't work and, isn't like, doesn't seem to be trying to find a job and all that stuff, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Having Kei also be a character that has, like, legitimate characterization and development happening slowly but surely leads to a kind of an exciting kind of background meta for the characters that aren't front and center. So having her talk to Chika's sister about this stuff kind of it feels like a little plot setup where they're basically saying, there's certain things that are going to overtly pass along the chain from Kei, from Shirogane to Kei to Chika's sister to Chika, then back to Kaguya. And that's just something that's going to happen. And it's going to happen, like, steadily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, because Okay, there's plenty of romantic tension in this show.
Yes.
But the romantic tension is not something of, do they like each other? It's just get a room already, right?
You know, how they express it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So having things where everyone knows, you know? It's like, yeah, of course. Like, even people that don't even interact with them on a regular basis. Chika's sister never really... Like, she's met Kaguya once, I think, right?
Yep.
Like, and yet, yeah, she's already hearing about, you know, their whole dynamic and whatnot, right? Okay, cool. Yep. I mean, I'm sure Chika blabs about it plenty already, but...
Right, yeah. I just love that she's a character that was introduced this season. And I believe she was.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
Already in the couple times that we've seen her, she's poised to have a lot of influence potentially on the way things go, which is fun. Getting to see Chika deal with the whole Soran dance was awesome. I want a gif of Chika with the sunglasses and the piano.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, but like that was so funny to see that she's just like, I've had it with your shit, sure, I got it. And then Kaguya comes in and she's like, oh, like spins in the swivel chair, like, oh, I guess that you're so quick to give up your previous teacher.
Oh my god!
Like the level of passive aggressive pettiness that can come from Chika
is
just shows
absolute gold.
Yes, just shows something. Something truly horrifying lurks beneath the surface.
Yep.
And of course, I completely forgot about the whole tabletop thing. I believe that was actually mentioned casually in season 1.
I think it might have been in season 1, but I'm almost certain that it was mentioned when Chika made the board game.
Oh, that's right. That's when it was. Okay. Yeah. Right. And I've always compared her as a joke to being some dark eldritch being, and she would actually know what that is. That's the part I love about this.
She's the chaotic evil or chaotic neutral bard. Like,
yes,
and it's horrifying.
Also, she's using a 3d6 system, which is cool because that provides a lot more consistent skill check results.
Indeed,
so, cool stuff. Yeah.
One of the other things that I thought was really interesting was I'm pretty sure I've seen a GIF of Chika doing this, but what was the part where she's like in the chair and it's like dark and everything, and she's like, "Oh, that's how it is," or or something like that. Like that just screamed out to me, like, "Yep, this is reaction GIF stuff right here."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've seen that one before. The idea that Ishigami has been dealing with attacks of vengeance of sorts, where there's this feeling of there's been like a lot of people that feel like Ishigami maybe got off easy in some regard, but the fact that Inomiko is a part of the disciplinary committee, meaning that in some ways there are people that have probably come to Inomiko over and over and over again and have been like, you need to discipline, you need to be making sure that Ishigami is doing this. And what's interesting here is if Inomiko has stood up for him with being like, this punishment is too far. She doesn't like Ishigami, but she is of herself a lawful good. She cannot stand to see injustice happening.
Exactly.
So she doesn't know, and she probably doesn't put a lot of substance into rumors. So I wonder if this is part of the reason why they like each other. Is that she sees someone who has potential. He's wasting it in her mind. But he is also being unjustly treated and still soldiering onward. So she sees that as maybe a little inspiring.
Slight kindred spirit, maybe.
Exactly.
But then because wasted potential, she just...
Yeah, but also... think about it. If she's constantly getting potentially pestered by Ishigami, this doesn't necessarily have to be happening, but she might even subconsciously be building resentment about the fact that she keeps having to deal with this guy. And familiarity can breed contempt and stuff like that. But what if it's also the thing of where if she's constantly in proximity to this guy and he flusters her, it gets her frustrated. There's a very quick deviation that can happen from that to attraction.
My room, 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Ishigami is shouldering some kind of secret with what actually happened.
Yep.
He's talking with the girl in the cheer squad, and she's like, I don't even know how you can be here.
Right.
I'm like, is it that level? Like, is it that level of intensity? And his response is basically that I think he just kind of ignores her. Oh no, he says, do I look like it doesn't bother me?
Right. And then he just keeps going.
Yeah, basically saying, are you so arrogant to think that you can see inside me without actually getting to know me? This is probably one of the things I love about characters like this.
Yeah.
Is that everyone has an opinion about them. And none of them are really that accurate to what's going on with the person. You know? Yeah.
And then you get that opportunity maybe to actually get to know them, and then you can see what they're really like.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of fun because Ishigami is not a main character, you know?
No.
Like, He's very much a side character.
Right.
He is not a tertiary character in that he has a lot of characterization and little bits of depth and, you know, goofy moments and screen time.
Yeah.
But
he's more of a side character than like Chica.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. This is also maybe in some ways a form of upgrading him a little bit to Chica status.
That's very true. That's very true. And by proximity, Miko as well, because this is one of the reasons why I love paladins, right?
Oh, yes.
Because while they can be simple and they can sometimes be bland if you don't believe that they believe in what they believe in, right? Then they can be boring.
Yes.
But if they do, they will at the very least be interesting because you won't be able to ignore them. And in a situation like this where Ishigami is going to have to deal with a bunch of stuff, I am really looking forward to see how Miko responds as well. Yeah. Because she is so stalwart in her ideals, that she is not going to sit around and say, let Ishigami be pushed around if that's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Or if like, because this is one of the other things that I'm kind of wondering if happening, if the girl is coming back to this school, because one thing that I could totally see happening is, what if Ishigami had a crush on this girl?
Yeah.
The girl also kind of liked him.
Right.
But she was in a relationship.
Yep.
As a result, the boyfriend found out and was jealous and beat up Ishigami.
Yep.
Because Ishigami didn't want there to be like bad rumors about the girl.
Sure.
He ends up not saying anything when the boyfriend starts the rumors of, he's stalking her, right?
Right.
Because that's what the boyfriend wants to save face for himself. Ishigami wants to save face for the girl that he likes, so he's like, sure, fine, whatever, right?
Right.
The girl shows up again, maybe because she still kind of likes him.
And maybe feels guilty.
And maybe feels guilty. Yep. But the thing is that guilt, just because you feel guilty, that doesn't make everything go away, because she still didn't say anything against the rumors that were spread. And this is all on the contingency that I'm extrapolating what is the actual reasons for everything. Yes. But if that's the case, then I am very much looking forward to the time when Miko steps in and is like, you sit down. You didn't stand up for him back then, so what makes you think you have the right to come over here now?
Exactly.
Right? Like,
I was literally going to say that bit specifically, combining it with the guilty potential angle, and then the idea that Miko would step in and be like, no.
Yeah.
No.
You can't be vindicated here. Like,
exactly. Mm-hmm. In some ways, if you've escaped justice, then I need to channel some divine smites into your ass.
Yeah, basically. Because, paladins can, in some cases, be boring, in some cases be terrifying, and in some cases be awesome when they're standing in front of you, So, and if there were something to make Ishigami like because I feel like up till this point he's kind of, felt bad for her and definitely acknowledged her and wanted to not see her suffer, right? But actually like her, if she pulls a badass move and is like, that thing that's constantly like annoying him of like, oh yeah, don't play games at school and whatnot, and instead it's standing up for him.
Yeah. If she's willing to stand, not necessarily, in any specific, side of him, but within proximity, and just be like, I'm letting you have my aura, You got me, man. Mm-hmm. I think what'll be cool here is that will lead to something better than if she full on intercedes and gets in the middle. because I think this is going to be a good closure related thing.
Sure.
Now, if we go the other angle, and we're just bringing in a whole nother character to add to the cast, you know?
Oh.
She's like, hey, I'm going to transfer back, you know?
One more girl for the Ishigami harem.
I would love that too, because if that ends up happening, Ishigami being put into the situation where he's shoujo, you know, popular and stuff like that, and it becomes like a legitimate like polygon of all these relationships and stuff of so many things. I also would I would not be unhappy.
Even Kobachi was watching him this episode with a smile on her face. Like,
I mean, that was so wholesome.
That was super wholesome,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, just the idea that she sees the things that Inomiko doesn't.
Right.
And is able to logically put things together in a kind of a rational way. But she also kind of admires that about Ishigami.
Right.
In a way. Because that's kind of how she is a little bit too. So she might play matchmaker. She might end up liking Ishigami. She might, if anything, not do either, and it just be a thing of where she's like, no, I'm in his corner at the very least.
Right.
I'm not going to help him. I'm not going to push things along. That's his call. But I'm not going to let a bunch of, get a lot of shit get dumped on him.
Right.
So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I also am just impressed that the cast has gotten this big in a weird way.
I know,
and the idea that we can casually have a Shirogane-sama, the Daddy Shirogane, Dio Shiro Dio. Yeah, Shiro Diogane.
You're approaching my son.
Yes. I can't wait for the memes for that scene specifically.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine there's so many of them.
And then she's like feeling this like menacing aura behind her.
Yeah.
Is this the work of an enemy stando? An enemy dado?
Oh god. I loved that Shirogane just totally denied knowing him. He's like, nope, total stranger. Don't know this man.
I'm his father.
Yeah, I'm his father. And it's like, oh, damn it.
Also, I gotta say, Kaguya did not respond exactly how I thought she would. She called him a delightfully mischievous father, I believe. Which that means on some level, she kind of appreciated the candid nature of how direct he was.
Yeah.
Let me see. You have a delightfully mischievous father.
And
which
now,
almost
granted,
looks like it's in the Okawaii Koto like build-up face,
Well, but this is also something of what she says to Shirogane, which is maybe putting a nice a nice filter on it, and it's sort of like oh my god, that just happened. You have a delightfully mischievous father,
Right.
But
and then Ishigami getting a win, and then when he looks over and sees that let's see if we can get to make sure that he looks over.
Everyone's cheering.
Oh, it was Kobachi that said you can do it.
Right.
And then he looked over.
Whoa.
And he smiled.
Yeah. And one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting about that is that he looked over and smiled, but Ino specifically did not cheer him on.
That's true. That's true. So was it that he looked over and saw that Ino was there? Was it that he looked over and no, he's actually kind of liked the fact that Kobachi cheered him on or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think he saw the girl, though,
I don't think so.
Over here.
Yeah, but she was pretty far away.
She gives me Monica vibes, dude.
Her hair is very similar.
Her hair is just straight up, kind of Monica's hairstyle.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you think she's going to be a threat or just a new character?
Because, see, the plot of this show revolves around Kaguya and Shirogane.
Yes.
But the plot of this show revolves around
woven the Ishigami the god Chika.
The god Chika and the Ishigami harem.
True.
So, this is the real plot development right here.
What would be the ultimate twist is that's Hayasaka.
Wait. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not. The hair color is off.
Yeah.
And
the hairstyle looks too basic.
Also, Hayasaka has got like muscles, and that girl looks like a twig. So
yeah, she's also, I'm pretty sure, taller than Hayasaka. Maybe it was just the upper shot, but upward shot.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. Battle Lines, a sci-fi novel. Is it a harem? No. But it's awesome, and it's on Amazon. Link in the description down below.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.